Today's video is going to be a little bit different than my usual. I have some exciting news to share, but the significance of it gets lost if you don't know the backstory. So if you're a backstory, behind the scenes kind of person and likes to see how everything fits together on the path of life, then this video might be your jam. I'm sharing these moments with you guys because I don't know, I just think it's valuable. It's like I wish I had someone else where I could watch videos like this and see someone else's journey. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is officially spring. Today's not so bad, but I've been working on getting some of this winter coat off, and yeah, it can get pretty hairy. The last few weeks have been busy ones. I celebrated a birthday last week. My birthday was filled with lots of practical things, including this fence Nathan put up for the foster puppy, really giving me peace of mind. My mom made and brought over my favorite cinnamon rolls, and I treated myself to a massage. I also made sure to have a little fun on my birthday, so pulled Raven out for a little session in the snow. And then I suppose I undid some of my massage by spending the afternoon doing fence work. The day ended with falling hair and falling snow. It was a quiet, slow-paced day, and most recently I was in North Carolina for a Masterson method seminar, which is something, if you've been following my channel, this has been something that I've been talking about for a long time. I've wanted to do for a long time, but it was a sacrifice to do that, and I just want to say thank you to there are some people who donated just to help me be able to do that. It honestly feels a little bit sentimental. I can't explain why it was so special to go to Raleigh for this training without giving you the backstory. And really, I'm sharing this because I want my future self to be able to look back on these moments. I think they're important things to remember along the way. My first time ever going to Raleigh was for a Mustang adoption event back in 2023, and this is the first adoption event that I went to really for the sake of just filming. It was sort of a new path, a new step for me. This is when I started doing some more educational videos on how to adopt Mustangs and what to expect. It's really important that I have success with this trip because this is something I'm hoping to do more of. I'd really love to go to more Mustang events and film and create videos of them, meet people, do interviews, that kind of thing. And I'm hoping to do more of that in the future because it's a trial essentially for me to see how it goes. And it's really hard for me to get here, and you know, I kind of have a lot riding on this. This trip was a bold move for me. It had come on the heels of a really hard summer, and I had shared some struggles but alluded to others, and at the time I couldn't afford an overnight with the hotel and the meals involved, and that's how I ended up choosing this location because I could do this trip all in one day, significantly cutting costs and making it possible, and it was a very calculated risk. So this trip held a lot of significance for me, and a lot of emotions were wrapped up within it. I had worked hard for months trying to make this trip possible, and I knew when I left for the airport that I had one shot. If this trip didn't work out, if it wasn't successful, I didn't have the resources to do it again. And so when my first flight was delayed and I missed my connection flight, I was so disappointed. I can still remember those feelings as if it was yesterday. All right, well, I just went to my gate and it's closed. I don't know what to do now. Ultimately, I was able to book another flight a couple hours later, which cut my time at the event in half, but I was able to film a couple videos and then go back to the airport for my 2 flights home, completing the trip in 18 hours. There and back again, a hobbit's tale. So that trip created a crazy memory for me to look back on, and ultimately began a domino effect of me being able to go to more adoption events like I had hoped. It was a really pivotal and influential point, and cool to see how the risk was rewarded with more opportunities. Being monetized on YouTube, my videos do make money from ads, and essentially I started with doing a personal investment to get this going and got to the point where I could have one trip eventually covering the cost of the next. But when I do trips like these, I never have certainty that I will get my initial investment back. It's a calculated risk every single time. And I don't know if I'll get it back. If I do, how long it will be. Will I actually make a little bit of money? Will my time be worth something? And that's why this work requires a lot of underlying passion. And thankfully, I have a lot of that. Getting into Mustangs has been a lifelong dream of mine. And I'm always really encouraged when I hear from people about how helpful my videos have been for them as they bring home their own Mustangs, and what an encouragement my story has been as they continue on their way. And yet I still find myself wanting to have more to offer, more to give, and I've kept it no secret that working with my own Mustangs and experiencing how sensitive they are has drastically changed my viewpoints, and I really want to be a voice promoting kind and empathetic gentling practices. To more effectively do that, I'm trying to expand my knowledge base with further education. Enter the Masterson method, which is an integrative form of bodywork that works with the horse's nervous system to release areas of tension. I actually wasn't interested in bodywork when I became interested in this method 3 years ago. I was more interested in the relational piece and working with the horse's nervous system because it so closely correlated with new methods that I was starting to embrace. Because this method requires you to pay close attention to the subtle signals like the blink of an eye, flare of a nostril, or a breath, I saw that this would hold a lot of value for a Mustang gentling program. So we're going to go back in time again to 2023, just a few months after I went to Raleigh. I went to the Equine Affair, which is a huge expo bringing lots of presenters, and the number one person I wanted to see was Jim Masterson, the founder of the Masterson method.
Back of her neck. As we get to the top, she's a little bracey. When they brace, soften your hands when they brace, and wait, and then wiggle again.
This next footage never made it into a video, but the story is significant to me, and this seems like a perfect time to share. All right, so I've now been here several hours, and I came intending to hand out business cards, and I have not handed out a single one. When I create videos, I create them to try to provide for my horses, make connections, or because I'm passionate about the topic. This event provides a unique connection opportunity, so I was trying to make the most of it. Definitely feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, it's so nerve-wracking. So anyway, yeah, the Jim Masterson clinic was great. Oh my goodness. So he's got another one I'm going to go to in about half an hour, and if I could just hand out two cards by then, that would be a big step for me, just to like get past this nervousness that I have, because yeah, I just feel like a pesky little fly, and yeah, it's just scary. The short story is I kept failing at handing out these business cards and was feeling really discouraged. I had a lot of pressure on this trip, similar to my Raleigh trip. I had to make it worth the sacrifice of coming here. Maybe you're thinking, just lighten up and have fun, Britta, but it's hard to have fun when you feel like you're just struggling to make ends meet and there's a lot of pressure behind everything that you do. I was so discouraged, almost to the point of tears, and I was walking down a busy aisle and I walked past the speaker, and all I heard was, "When you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance." Another similar instance, all I heard was the crowd and then suddenly the words, "If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, because the dream won't chase you back." Hearing those lyrics in those moments really encouraged me. I couldn't just passively sit back and expect things to happen. I had to step out and be bold. I went to Jim Masterson's second seminar that day.
I go along the top on the nuchal ligament up here.
And after the seminar, things began to change. So I just have to say this. I handed out my first business card, and I'm like so proud of myself because I was really struggling. I feel coming here, I'm coming here alone. I'm just I'm on a mission. I'm trying to do stuff, and I'm sharing this with you because I'm trying to show. On this channel, I share the stuff about the horses and my journey learning with that, but I'm also sharing essentially my personal development story, and this is really hard for me. This is really hard. Like, so creating a video has gotten to the point where that's pretty easy for me, but to approach someone at a table who doesn't know me, I don't know them, and you don't know, are you welcome to approach? Like, how, I don't know. It's just really intimidating. And I was going around, I was almost in tears earlier because I was trying to get at least two handed out. I almost did it once and I chickened out, but I didn't meet that goal. And then after the Masterson method, I was trying to find his table, and he was like answering questions and signing autographs, his book and all that stuff. And then I started asking him about if he'd worked with Mustangs. At the end, I asked him if I could do an interview, and I gave him my business card, and I am like, I can't believe it. Like, just that was the conversation I had with him was just so good, and I'm just like really, intimidated. I'm really intimidated, but more importantly, I'm just like blown away. So that was like a highlight. If nothing else, like if I come here or go to his seminars and interview him, like this whole trip is worth it. So I'm just so glad that I put myself out there. But yeah, I'm sharing these moments with you guys because I don't know, I just think it's valuable. It's like I wish I had someone else where I could watch videos like this and see someone else's journey. But I'm gonna go back inside and hopefully pass out some more, but if not, it's okay. And so a few weeks later, I had the privilege of interviewing Jim, specifically about Mustangs. Continuing on the Mustang topic, so one of the things that I wanted to ask about was how some training practices with Mustangs might show up in the long term. For example, it's a pretty common practice for a Mustang to be haltered and a drag line attached while in the chute. So during pickup, they'll halter it, throw the drag line on. People do it for a quicker start with their horse. There's a variations on how people teach leading, but sometimes you can see it's pretty aggressive and hard tying. To teach tying is another thing. I'm curious from a body worker's perspective, how does that show up down the road?
And I realized once I started doing body work, how bad it was to have a horse pull back with the halter right there at C1 and C2, because it jams the vertebrae like this, jams them up. Mm-hmm. And anyways, the short answer is you may train your horse not to pull back, or you may not by hard tying it, but you're creating damage that's going to show up down the road. Mm-hmm. And I'll keep going on another thing. A lot of times I'll work on a horse and I can tell that it's had an accident in the past. It's either run into something, or it's flipped over backwards, or it's just gone over on its side.
So it has now been a year and a half since meeting Jim at the Equine Affair, and I am finally going to the Masterson Method weekend seminar in Raleigh. And now you know why this was so significant to me. Going to Raleigh is once again another bold move and a step out in a new direction. All right, I am here in Raleigh. The seminar I'm going to covers basic bodywork techniques for owners to use on their own horses, but it's also the start of a certification path. Okay, low key, I want to move to North Carolina. It is so warm here. The air is so refreshing. I get to miss the 8 inches of snow Vermont gets while in a t-shirt. Yay. All right. I have arrived. This feels so sentimental to me, like the first step on this journey. The first day was filled with introductions of the group, some instruction and demonstration, then hands-on work and feedback, and some conversations around the certification process. There were a lot of good conversations, and I left hungry for more. All right, time to take a field trip. I am really seriously thinking about the next step in this program. Unlock. And they have it here in this area. So because it's a 5-day, the next part is 5 days, like that's the expensive thing is like the hotel. So I am gonna go check out a campground. Okay, the expensive thing is the course at $2,200, but on top of that is the lodging, flights, rental car, and food. And while I'm here, I'm gonna make the most of the opportunity and look for areas that I can save. It's a big commitment, but if it's at all possible, I'd really like to do it. All right, day 2, here we go. We've been under that overhang, or under the ceiling roof, no sides. The second day was my favorite. Our instructor happened to have a skeleton that she was showing us, and it was so helpful to be able to see and hold and look at the structures that we were working with. It was really an extra bonus to the seminar, but I really love nerdy things, so really enjoyed that part.
True movement in a relaxed state because of all the multifidus.
All in all, it was a fantastic weekend. I'm so glad I went. And like I said earlier, I would really love to tie this into my love and passion for Mustangs. I want to have something more that I can offer. I see this being really helpful on 2 fronts. One being something that I can offer the horse that's in front of me, something to help them feel better. And 2, being able to better promote kind and empathetic gentling practices with an increased knowledge of the horse's body and how training methods are affecting it, both in the present and in years to come. Jim talked a little bit more about that in the interview that I did with him, but Yes, I would like to bring this back to Mustangs. I haven't done much in the Mustang world lately, mostly because my resources are all going towards my education right now. And that's a little tough because unlike the Mustang adoption event in Raleigh and in other locations, my education is really going on behind the scenes. It can't be filmed or have videos created from it, and therefore I'm not being reimbursed. And so that's why you haven't seen me at adoption events lately, but someday I do hope to go back and also bring more helpful information with me. So there's a long backstory to how this new beginning came to be. Hopefully that encourages someone. Thanks for watching.